that's a part of the game, isn't it? That you. So I really like the collaborative sort of setting stuff that everyone works together to build the sort of parts that are going to be in it. That's really cool. Also, I really like it's a formal kind of setting, a dial, if you like, isn't it, for the
Yes.
tone of the game?
Yes.
Can you
Yeah. So
can you expand on that a bit?
yeah, certainly. You can basically like, what do you want the tone of your game to be? So if you want it to be like black comedy, like Doctor Strangelove is a good touchstone. You can play it like that. If you want to make it a noir, like film, like Third Man, you say we want it to have this noir-esque overtones. European art house cinema. Films like Canal and Europa. So you have different choices and can like there's thematic influences that you can draw on from each of them. Just like so everyone is aware of like the tone of what the game they're going to be playing in.
This is really good, isn't it, for in comparison to uh, other role-playing games, let's say shorthand. It's quite good because you
Mm.
know what the setting in Cold City in particular, the setting is Berlin, but setting the
Yes.
tone, that's a really lovely thing, I think, because that
Yeah,
brings everyone together and on the same page.
and all of this is not just the tone you go through, kind of like who are our antagonists
Mm.
going to be, and then one of the new bits, the thing that I was actually really wanting to play
Mm.
test was the elements of the game that are new that take the load off the GM. So it
Right.
used to be in the old versions of the game, the GM would have to create stats for monsters and NPCs and all that. And if you like that and that's a part you love about the game, great. But that's not in these games now. So now part of this collaborative game creation is assigning dice to different groups. And the GM draws on those dice to provide adversity and antagonism. So in Cold City, there are internal enemies, external enemies, the city of Berlin itself, monsters, and the cold. And then in Hot War, they are internal enemies, monsters, London, and breakdown. So
Right.
it takes the load right off the GM, and you can see everyone can say, okay, we want monsters to be prioritized in this or internal enemies. So you load more dice into those, and that indicates to the GM what the players and everyone else at the table wants from the game.
So the mechanics in that sense are quite a strong pacing device, right? And you can I'm imagining from what when I say from what I've read, the book,
Yeah.
as I like to call it, the entire game, there's going to be a sort of push and pull on pacing, between the players and the GM.
Yeah, new kind of like set of mechanics is that it is a pacing device as well. So when a certain number of these groups reach zero, that's you at the end of an act in this story. So that act has to come to some kind of conclusion before you move on to the next part of the story. And then the groups refresh and can be changed and added to and all that kind of thing for if you want to keep the same themes but or emphasize other things that have come out of play in the previous act or acts before. So yeah, the act very much as a pacing mechanism. And they're slightly different for if you're playing a multi-session game as opposed to a one-shot game. The pacing
Nice.
mechanism works differently, but I think satisfactorily, whatever, in both situations.
Nice. No, that's really good.